Hey people, what's up? It's Jamil. And I've been going through something extraordinary like in the last 3, 4 days. I've been seeing a lot of the filters of the gang stalking program breaking down, basically thinning out. And I noticed it tremendously today, right? Okay, so I'm going through this thing right now where I'm going through this thing with this girl where she's on the other side of the gang stalking program, and we both really want to be with each other. And there's a dynamic of the gang stalking circled around um, her and her family, and me and her are kind of like we're grinding it out because a lot of the time I'll see her and she really does just want. Sometimes she won't do it. Sometimes she just won't do it at all, and especially I noticed the more companionship and love she feels from me, the less she engages it. But then other times she'll just kind of like it's almost like she adopted my formula. She'll start pimping the program where she'll do little things here and there. She'll do little stuff just enough to get by so she can get what she wants and shit. It's fucking cool. I'm like, damn, that's love of my life, pimping the program. And then other times I'll see where like the family has to make up. Like if she won't step in and do stuff, the family will have to make up for it. But I saw something different though. I saw something different on the family. I saw like I saw the mother and the father today outside on the deck, and both of them are wonderful people, and but I saw that I don't know. It's like the I saw on the mother on her energy. I don't know if I'm misreading her energy, but I kind of saw like it was almost like it was almost like she was kind of drawn in between the two concepts, in between the concept of me being able to speak openly to her daughter and the concept of the gang stalking program and the family saying that's not something that should happen. As I was looking at the mother, it seemed like she was kind of like bouncing back and concepts back and forth. And then the father, he's usually kind of cool. He's usually kind of like mellow, but I don't know. Today he kind of looked like, damn it, I got to do all this stuff again. And it's really tightening up because see, the gang stalking program really isn't sure what to do because they're used to being able to manipulate the girl highly, and then as soon as I step forward and I got my arms open to the girl, now they're kind of really unsure of what to do, and so it seems as though it's kind of like I don't know. It seems like the father's just like, damn, what the fuck, you know what I mean? And I don't know. It's interesting, but I love the whole family. They're cool. But the girl, she's become before it was just me and her. Like she would have to drive by and they would want her to look at me. And even before I took action and started speaking out, she still didn't really want to do it. And now since I took action and started speaking out and saying, okay, if you want love from me, you can have it. If you want to be with me, you can have it. Now it's 10 times harder for her to do a lot of stuff they want her to do. But like I said, from time to time, she still does. She does enough just to get by, right? And then I'm sure she likes to go out and have fun and stuff. But so I'm watching all this stuff, right? And I'm noticing that now somehow me and her have been able to build some sort of like nonverbal communication between the things that she does. The other day, not today, but yesterday, I saw her in a car with the gang stalking stuff, and she was with this guy, like bigger type dude, big like heavier size type dude, and he was driving, and now they're coming down a street like this, and then they turn and go down another street, and I could kind of tell that the program wanted her to keep going, but she was like, no, turn, turn. She turned, she had her head down. Now usually she puts her head down because she doesn't want to make eye contact with me when she's around another guy, or she doesn't. I don't know. She doesn't want to see me. Like she has to do it for the program, but she doesn't want me to see her with another guy. I mean, that's the only logical thing I can come up with. And so, but this time when she put her head down, it didn't look like she was putting her head down in shame. It looked like she was putting her head down just because she wanted to hurry up and get through it. But it was so strange because she didn't look like she was in the car with the guy. She looked like she was more with me than she was in the car. It's hard to explain. And I saw that and I realized something. Eventually, what's happening is me and her are eventually moving towards open communication. And I think people are starting to see that because I started directly talking to her on YouTube. And now after I started directly talking to her on YouTube, she felt my energy more. She was like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, damn, Jamil, you know, JR, Jamil, or whatever, he's on, now he's on YouTube talking to me. And when that started, then she was just like, that just kind of like blew her mind for a minute. And she was just like going back and forth with can she keep doing this? Can she not keep doing this? And now it's becoming a thing where since I spoke to her through YouTube videos and stuff, now it's becoming a sort of thing where the next step is we're going to have more communication, and for us to progress, for us to actually be able to evolve into any type of relationship, there has to be open communication. It can't just be me making fucking YouTube. You know what I mean? Excuse my language. And so it's sort of a thing where she's becoming more independent in the concept that, you know, sometimes she'll do certain things, sometimes she won't. So she's starting to take control and grind through the program on her side and do all that stuff, and I'm doing it on my side. But the next step is open communication. How does that happen? How does that happen? It's not like it's not like, you know, it's not like she's just gonna be walking down this. I mean, she might. It's all up to her, really. To be honest with you, it's all in her hands. It's a situation where the family, I've seen how some people in the family seem a lot more cooler with the idea of me speaking to her. But I think where the father's coming from, I think he's just like, man, you know, okay, listen, we're a family. We're over here, we're a family, and we're just like everybody else, you know, in the neighborhood. And so if you talk openly with Jamil, that's going to create something where what's going to come after that? How you know what I mean? It's going to create a whole new thing. But I don't think anything. If she came and talked to me, what's the worst they could do? What I mean, he can't. Like the fathers can't be like, you're not my daughter anymore or something. Like, you know what I mean? Like what, you know? And so obviously, me and her share a great companionship. And after she received my love, I can tell she feels far better about it. And she wants more of it, but there's limit. But she feels as though there's great limitations on her because of the dynamic she's in within the gang stalking program. And so where I'm coming from is I'm saying, now you have to follow your heart. If you don't follow your heart, there's no way we can meet. I followed since the wintertime. Well, since the wintertime when I came out and you looked at me, like, you know, when I came out, she looked at me. I followed my heart thus far to make it to this point, to be able to be open and say, I love you. I want to make you happy and take care of you the rest of your life. She's been receiving that in the last couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, I wasn't saying anything. I was just like, you know, whatever, you know, just keep driving by in the car and keep looking at me. So, you know what I mean? Like, it was like that, you know? But I still really cared about her. So I said, you know, okay, since this isn't getting anywhere, and I make you incredibly happy, and obviously want to be with each other, I'm going to have to do something. And so then I started I started talking to her through the YouTube thing and all this stuff. And then it's completely changed our relationship. It's made it, I mean, we're definitely more towards open communication than we were before. And so now I don't see how she can go wrong. If, you know, if you follow your heart, you can't go wrong. Who's going to tell you you're wrong? But at the same time, you have to have an income. You have to have money. You're in a family, and the family has certain expectations on you. You have to. So it's a pretty interesting concept. It's pretty interesting. It's going to be what it's going to boil down to. What it's going to boil down to is she going to end up following her heart and going for what she wants? Or is it going to be a situation where she makes exceptions to how far she's willing to follow her heart? I will follow my heart up until this point, but will I go any further? See, that's the interesting thing to it. And see, I through the gang stalking program, And through all the stuff I've been through, I've matured to the point to where I'm following this stuff and I'm watching it. And I'm able to keep a dialogue with viewers and share with them my experience of it. You know, and so it's kind of like a love story that can be fulfilled. It can be fulfilled. I could just be hanging out outside, and she could go out of the way and just say, you know what, fuck this. I'm just gonna approach Jamil, and she could do that. Then what's gonna happen though? What would her family say? That's gonna, see what I'm saying? That's the burden on her. How far is she willing to follow her heart? See my point? Now I know I'm having a great effect on her. After my love reached her, I've seen it change her tremendously. She's really started blooming. If I see her in a car, no matter who she's in the car with, it looks like I can read her body language and tell she wants to be with me. She even does this little thing sometimes. Like I saw her one time. If you're watching this, you remember there was this road, and she was with her father in the car, and she looked out the window, and she did this the other day, where she was in this van and she was looking out the window. And her energy, when she does that, I can tell she was thinking about me. And it's just the energy between us is so magnetic and it's so powerful, and we don't even have open communication right now. So I'm wondering what would they do if she just called me on the phone, or she just came over here and knocked on my door, or she approached me in the street. What could they do to her? I've never heard of a scenario like this. So I don't. They could. And from what I see, if she said that I was following my heart and that's where my heart led me, there's nothing anybody can do. But anyhow, I can see how the father. I see where the father's coming from. The father's like, this is complicated. This is a big, this is a big thing. Once you do that, it's going to open up a whole new. Once you do that, it's going to open up a door that you can't close, because now you approach Jamil, you talk to him. How well really do you know Jamil? You know what I mean? How you guys care for each other, but when's the last time you even talked to each other? See what I'm saying? So it's gonna open. It's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. And so what I want to do is I want to create a dynamic where I can have open communication with her, right? Where we can approach each other and talk to each other. Small. At first, it might be small. It might be a situation where we just wave at each other and say hi, and then it goes into something else, and then something else, and something else, and then something else, and then it gets wider. Or it might just be she just walks up to me, and we talk for a while. I saw they used a female that looked like her. See, one thing the gang stalking program does is they like to use lookalikes and stuff like that, and so they used a female in her driveway. Like the female was putting like a TV in a car or something like that. And I was walking by and I saw that. And obviously the gang stalking program had the girl out there. Just because I was out there. But it wasn't her though. And so I'm looking at it and I'm like, if that had been her, I know she wouldn't have done. She wouldn't have came out there unless she felt she would have been able to talk to me, unless the parents would have been okay for her to talk to me. I don't think she would have wanted to. I caught her. She was angry. See, there was this thing going on a couple weeks ago where I had the gang stalking program started using her sister, and so I had kind of talked her sister up, and I think that had really pissed her off because she had to drive the car. And her sister had to look at me and all this stuff in the car, and I could tell that was making her. I could tell she was getting angry by that, and so they had some dude from the gang stalking program, real skinny dude with a beard, sunglasses, all this stuff, and he's outside in the car, and she comes out to the car, and I can tell by her body language she's angry. You know what, man? I should have said something to her, but at that point, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because the vibe between us was like, fuck it, you know. But then after I saw that she was angry and upset, and I saw that she wasn't cool with the situation of us. So now I'm moving forward, and she's moving like we're both moving forward towards each other, like this, right? But at this point, it's coming to the point to where we're going to have open communication, and I don't know how that's going to happen. It might not. I mean, maybe. I predict me and her will end up being together at some point, no matter what. I just see that. I can just see that. I've seen it. I've seen it on her over and over again. That's what she wants. It might have to be till both of us move out of this area. I mean, it might be till, maybe that'll happen. Maybe I'll move and then she'll feel more open to. I don't know, but I see on her energy though that that's what she wants. But we have to have open. See what I'm saying? And so I don't know how it's going to play out. But I saw that the mother, her energy was far different than what it usually was. The mother looked like she was cool with it. Actually, I'm not trying to put, if she's watching this, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth or anything. You know what I mean? But she kind of looked like she was she was cool with it. Like she was just like, yeah, okay. But the father, he looked like he was like, he wasn't cool with that. You know, he looked like he was kind of frustrated with the whole thing. Like sometimes, like what's going on? Sometimes our daughter will do stuff, sometimes she won't. Now Jamil's saying he loves her. He's talking to her openly on the internet. So the only step next is for us to have open communication. And so that's why I told her, I made a video for her where I'm saying just follow your heart. And obviously, you want us to be able to talk openly, so follow your heart, because it's really in her hands, it's not really in my hands. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.